I think we can start now. Thank you for being here today and for spending these 2 hours with us. I hope you enjoy it and you gain some insights on how to use a 3D print, a 3D design and virtual reality inside your classes. I am Angeliki Karagiorgopoulou. I work as an ICT teacher in primary education, and I am also the project manager of VR4Clima project on behalf of the University of Thessaly. Before I go on, I would like to invite the scientific responsible of this project from the University of Thessaly, who is the coordinator as well, and to welcome you, and then we can go on.
Hi, thank you, Angeliki. Hello, everyone. It's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you very much for spending your time and paying and giving your attention and your interest in order to participate in this webinar. This is your way to find out about the VR4Clima project and get trained about how to get your students be prepared for the climate change and the disasters that follow it. Here you can learn more about the project, but more of it, and I think this is what you are interested more, is to find out the tools that we have developed for you in order to make a fruitful curriculum on this issue and how you can educate your students. Apart from knowing how to use some tools, you will also have access to material that we have developed especially for this reason. And of course, you will get trained also in order to participate in our European contest that is now receiving submission proposal. So I don't want to say more. I think that we have a very full program. For 2 hours you will learn more about VR4Clima. Thank you very much for having time to join us. And Angeliki, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So before I go on, I would like to know how many of you have heard about our project or have seen some of the project results. So I see one hand. Philomena, is anybody else who knows about the project? Or has heard? Okay, so I will start this webinar by presenting you the project, what initiated it, what are the project results so far, and then we will go to the main part of this webinar, which will be the use of Tinkercad in order to create 3D designs, and then we will see how the designs that we have created can be entered inside the virtual worlds by using the application of Delightex. I will share my screen. And so this project was started on December of 2023 out of a very important need that we saw in our students, and actually the idea for the project had initiated some years before. So I will talk to you about the motivation of our project, the partnership, the deliverables, and what's next. the motivation of the project. We are placed the University of Thessaly, the department that we belong to is placed in Lamia, which is in central Greece, and we encountered some very catastrophic natural disasters the previous years. We had wildfires in northern Evia in August 2021, who destroyed almost one third of the island. And Evia, for the ones that don't know it, is a very big island in Greece, so vast parts of land were destroyed, also houses and animals. Then 6 months later, we had a thunderstorm in central Greece, which affected very much Athens, the capital city. And you can see the picture on the right. Cars stuck in the middle of a very important road in Athens, Attica Road. And this is strange because we are not used to thunderstorms and thunderstorms of this size. So people had to stay inside their cars for long hours until they got out and got rescued. And then we had floods in central Greece and in Evia again in August 2020, where human lives were lost as well as the houses and animals. And of course, people from Serbia, you remember the floods of May 2014, which took place not only in Serbia, but in all the surrounding countries as well. And they also caused severe damage. The problem, what we saw as teachers in our classrooms were children who had lived these catastrophic effects. We had children, students, who saw their houses being flooded, or they saw their properties, family properties being destroyed, or they had to evacuate their homes because of wildfires. And we recognized trauma and stress in our students. The problem is that climate change now is real and it cannot be stopped. So we have to live with it, and we have to live with the disasters that it causes. So what we wanted to pass through our students was that, okay, climate change is here. We can try to do sustainable choices so as to make the least harm for environment and have the least carbon footprint. But yet we have to learn to live with natural disasters, and we have to protect ourselves and be ready for them. This was the main motivation of our project, and we applied for funding, and we got the funding. And when it was the time for us to sign the agreement with our national agency, we could not, because that's what happened on September 2023. And what you see over here in these pictures are the offices of the research committee of the University of Thessaly, which is placed in Volos, and it was flooded until the ceilings. So we had to wait a couple of months in order to be able to go on with the project. And then we saw that this project really matters because, yes, indeed, climate change and natural disasters are here, and will, unfortunately, they are here to stay. So, except from raising awareness in our students about climate change. We want to help teachers develop professionally by integrating digital literacy in their classes, even the teachers that are not used to use technology. We want to show them that it's not difficult and everybody can try it. And also, since our students are very keen on playing 3D games, we want to teach them about serious gaming. Like you can play a game, but yet you can choose a game from which you can learn as well different interesting things. And we want to promote also STEM for teachers and students. The partners of our project are, except from the University of Thessaly, which is the coordinator, it is the Center for Promotion of Science of Serbia, which has proven to be a very important partner in this project. Then we have the National Technical University of Athens, VR Academy Limited, which is a company placed in Ireland, which teaches adults and young students how to use virtual reality and how to create virtual reality. And we have two partner schools. The one is one placed in Lamia, the 16th Experimental Primary School of Lamia, for which the University of Thessaly acts like a mentor. And also we have a Serbian school, and these two schools are piloting the project results and giving us feedback on what we have to change or make better. And we have an associated partner, Regional Directorate of Education of Central Greece, which is committed on disseminating our project and helping us deliver it to as many schools in Central Greece as possible. I will go on and tell you what we have done so far. And the first thing that we do, because we talked before about serious gaming, we created a 3D game to be played by our students inside our classes. And we did that because we wanted to attract the attention of our students. And what we did in this game is we have the student gets inside the game in order to play, and they have three options. They can select a school in Greece, a school in Serbia, and a school in Ireland. Why did we choose these three locations? Firstly, because there are in these locations we have our project partners, but then we chose them because they have different climate. And what we want our students to understand as well is that the choices that you make in order to be sustainable, you have to take into account the climate inside which you are living. So one choice that might be sustainable in Greece might not be sustainable in Ireland. So they have to recognize that where they are and make the correct choices. And since our students, they spend most of their daytime in their schools and in their school yards or school playgrounds, we decided to make the game and the whole project be in for school yards. And then students, when they learn how to make correct choices for their school yards, they can go on and make the same correct choices for their houses and so on. So the students get inside the game, they decide on which place they want to place their school, and then they are given an empty schoolyard, which they can in which they can put plants, they can put different options for lighting or for watering the plants, and depending on the options that they use, they have some green coins to use, and the more sustainable the choices are, the less coins they lose. In the end, the game lasts for about 10 minutes because we don't want the students to be more than 10 minutes inside VR. And for health reasons. And after the 10 minutes, a natural disaster happens in the game. And depending on the choices that they have made, some things are destroyed, some things are not destroyed. So they get mark points out of the things that have not been destroyed. They get points out of the energy that they have consumed for lighting the place or watering it, and then they get a final score. So if you play this game inside your class, in the end, students compare their scores, and we have this anxiety on who will be the winner, and it gets interesting for the students. So this game can be played. We have made two versions of the game. At first, we had declared that we will make a VR version, but since in the VR version you need a VR headset in order to play this, and the VR headsets we use Oculus 2 VR headset. The VR headsets are something that not many schools in Europe can afford because each one costs around 500 euros. So we created another version which can be played from PCs as well, which is something that all schools have in their labs. Computer labs. So there are two versions. They are all uploaded in our website, and you can download the one that you wish to use and have your students play this game. Then, since we said that choices can be sustainable depending on the climate where you are, we wanted to make students understand and recognize the climate where they are placed. So we had the National Technical University of Athens, who took all the climate maps, the official climate maps of Europe, which were very complex to read for students. Even for me, they were very complex. And what they did is they merged climates that are neighboring climates in one group, and they made this map that you see, which is a climate map for students, which actually consists of 6 climate zones. And we have a document which refers to the characteristics of each climate zone. There is an infographic as well, as you can see, which can help students understand what happens in its climate and what natural disasters are most possible to be found there, in order to continue with their choices. Then we created 10 animations about the subject of our project. So we have animations on what is the difference between climate, microclimate, and local climate, how we can make sustainable choices, how we can protect ourselves from natural disasters, and you will see them now, and we made them that way that they are engaging and they are simple. We use simple words that even students in primary education can understand, but they can be engaging for students in secondary education as well. So I will play a couple of them, and then you can see all the others in our website or in the YouTube channel of VR4Clima. For example, I will play uh, which one? Maybe how climate influences natural disasters. Okay, I will play one more and I will show you that we have also subtitles in these animations, Greek, and there are English subtitles for people with hearing problems. And we have also Greek and Serbian subtitles. Let's see the adaptation strategies. So they are 10 of them, and you can use them inside your classes and see, watch them with your students and initiate a talk about climate change and disasters and how to get protected by them. Then one deliverable of our project is the VR course, and actually that's why we are having this training right now, so that you are able to deliver the VR course in your classes. And we have two editions of the VR course, one for primary education and one for secondary education. So what you do in little words in this VR course is you have your students create one 3D element in Tinkercad that can be sustainable for their schoolyard. What can it be? Depending on the climate where you are, this sustainable element could be a solar panel that could light some lights in your schoolyard, or it could be a water tank that gathers rainwater, and then the school can use it in order to water some plants they have put, or it could be a green place inside the schoolyard, because for example here in Greece we the schoolyards are mostly made of cement, so there are no green spaces, and this is bad because when it rains the water uh, um, cannot be go inside the earth, and this can cause problems later, like we don't have water, drinking water. So, or green places attract also some animals. Another sustainable element could be some things that could make a shadow for students to stay underneath, and this could be used for schools in southern Europe. It depends. Students have a lot of ideas, and when they decide what they want to create, they can search internet for pictures of such elements, and then try to create them themselves inside Tinkercad. Once they create their sustainable element inside Tinkercad, they can extract it, export it from Tinkercad, and then they go on to another application which is called Delightex, in which students can create their own virtual playgrounds. So what they do is they try to make their playground look as it is in real life. I mean, put the buildings like they are. And then the playground itself, they change it. They don't make it as it is in real life. They create it as they would like it to be. They add their 3D object that they created in Tinkercad before inside this virtual environment. And in the end, comes a very engaging part where they can get inside virtual reality and experience what they have created like they were inside this virtual environment. And these things we are going to see it now uh, in our webinar. And we have provided some on-site teacher trainings like this one that we are doing here. And what is next is the schools contest. So now we have a European schools contest running, and it has a deadline of the at the end of March, but it might be extended a little bit. So if you are interested, if you find it interesting what we are going to do today, you can bring it into your classes, make groups of students, and create a virtual playground and apply in our contest. And it's good because if you win, you can win nice prizes for the school, like 3D printers or VR headsets. Uh, and so I will stop sharing, and we will come now to the main part of our webinar. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So we will start with Tinkercad. In the mail that I sent you, I asked you to create an account in Tinkercad. Uh, if you do, it's perfect. If you have, it is perfect. But if you don't have, it's okay. I can show you how to do it now. And what you can do is go to Tinkercad. Uh, Go to Tinkercad.com. I won't go to the, okay. If you click on Tinkercad.com, you come at this point where you can sign up in order to create your account. I would suggest that you go for the create a personal account, even if you are in a school, because educators tend to change schools. Uh, so even with a personal account, you can create classes, you can add students inside. So for me, it works better. And if you click here, you can sign up with different options like your mail or your Gmail or whatever works for you. And you select it and you sign in. If you would like your students to sign up in Tinkercad, it is a little bit tricky because students, since they are under 18, they would need their guardian or their parent to accept their signing up here. And it is a very not a very complex. First, the parent or the guardian has to sign up, and then they can let their kid. But you don't need to do such job because you can create classes and you can invite your students inside your classes. This way, students, the only thing that they need is your class code, the class code that you're going to create, and then they will click on here. They will use a code of their class and then the code name of each student, and they will get to their environment and start designing. And you as a teacher can see everything that everyone is creating. Liliana, you want to ask something? I see a hand. Liliana Yankovic. Uh, do you have a question? If you have, you can open your microphone and ask. No. Huh? No. Okay. So, the good thing about Tinkercad is that it is completely free. You can use everything for free, which does not happen with Delightex, unfortunately. So in Tinkercad, I have created maybe 20, 25 classes so far. I have added 200 students, and yet I can add more. So, and it's the free version. And it's very good because you can do a lot of things. I will go on now. Since you have registered, or if you have not registered, you can do it now. And I will go to my account over here. I have got inside, and before starting to create a 3D object, I want to show you the options that you have in Tinkercad. So in Tinkercad, you can design three things. One is the 3D designs. So if you click create, you have three options. One is 3D design, and what you do there, you take shapes, put them together and make complex shapes. And this is something very important for students to learn, that even the most complex shape that they can see, a digital shape, is made by combining simple objects together. Then we have the circuits, and with the circuits, you can, it's another thing, but you can see it, you can create a lab inside your computer, and actually you can use Arduinos, breadboards, batteries, resistors, and create circuits. Very interesting. And also, the third thing that you can create is code blocks. What are code blocks? Code blocks is something that could be used in secondary education, where students can design 3D objects by coding. So they use both design and coding together. And I will show you an example of this. We're not going to do this now, but I can show you an example of code blocks in order you are interested. So this is the environment on the right top of my screen, the environment of Tinkercad. And here I have an interface where I can code, and coding is in blocks. like Scratch, if any of you have used Scratch. So we have groups of commands, and we can use them in order to code and create a 3D object. And now I have created a code in order to make a clock. And if I click on play, I can see the blocks executed one after the other and my shape being created. But we will go back and now we will do the basic shaping. Okay. So I go back to my account and I will click on create. And I will create a 3D design. And I suggest that you do the same. You click on a new tab in your browser and you follow me along. Okay, so that if you are stuck somewhere, if you encounter any kind of problem, you can stop me and ask. Okay, so I click on 3D design. And I come here, and what you see here is the user interface of Tinkercad. So you are inside Tinkercad, and now you are a creator. You are an artist, and you want to create something. Imagine that you want to make a sculpture. And in order to make it a statue, in order to make it, the first thing that you need is a table, a crafting table, where you're going to put your material. Okay, this blue thing over here, it is your table for you to work. It is called work plane or grid. And it is divided in millimeters, as you see here. And why is it in millimeters and what do you want a millimeters for? Is because with Tinkercad you can also create objects that you can 3D print them later. And if you 3D print something, you might want it to have specific dimensions. But this is not the case here. So we will go on. And now that I have my crafting table, what I need in order to create something is material. I need material. And the materials are over here on the right side of my screen. You can see the materials that you have and you can use in order to create something. And you can drag and drop these materials inside your work plane. So if I click on this box, it is actually a cube, but it is called box in Tinkercad. I can drag my material here. And if this material is too small for me, I would like something bigger, I can change its dimensions by clicking on this white or black squares over here. If I drag them, I change the dimensions. If I drag the black squares, I change only one dimension, the width or the length. And if I drag a white square, I can change both dimensions of my object. And what is the dimensions? I can see them over here. So if I want to see the dimensions of my object, I click on it and I click on the white squares. And I can see the width, which is 52, and the length, which is 44 right now. And we have another dimension as well, which is the height. And in order to see how much the height is, I can click on this white square over here and I see that the height is 20. If I want to make it 30, I can drag this white square up, or I can write the exact dimension that I want here and click enter. And that's how I change the dimensions of my material, okay, my shapes. Now, I have the working table. the crafting table, the work plane. I have my material. What do I need in order to create a 3D object? I need tools. And the tools that I need are all over here on the top line in my screen. You see, they are light gray, which means that they are not active now, and they are not active because I have not selected any object. If I select my object, you see that some of them are being activated and some others are inactive because they are activated in different situations. For example, if I have selected two or more objects together, we will see them later. Then I have my table, I have my material, I have my tools. I can start designing my object, but I don't want to design it only from the front. I want to see it from the sides. I want to see it from top, from bottom. So I want to change my view. And in this point, I will tell you that when you are working with 3D, using a mouse makes your life a lot more easier. So please use a mouse. So if I have a mouse, so if I want to see my design from different angles, so what I have to do is I right click on my mouse and move it, and I can change the view, the perspective of my object. If I don't have a mouse, or even if I have a mouse, I can use this view cube as well in order to do the same. And if I want to zoom out, I can use this minus button over here. If I want to zoom in, I can use the plus button, or I can scroll with my mouse and do the same, zoom in and zoom out. And if I want to go to the original view that the first view that I had when I entered my project, I can click on home view and go back here and see my object. Also, Tinkercad has the tendency to give funny names to projects. So my project is Funky Stantia Happy. I'm sure that your project has a different name, which is also very funny. You can change it and name it My First Project, for example. And now we are ready to start tinkering or designing. What I will do, it's I will create a house. I will try to create a house. Before I start, I will show you some more features of Tinkercad. So I have shown you how to change dimensions. If you want to move your object, you can click on your object and drag it around and move it in the XY axis. But I would not suggest you to move it like this. Why? Because what you see here is a big object. If you have a small object and you want to move it around, it is very common that you're going to click on one of the squares, and instead of moving it, you will change its dimensions, and it's something that you don't want to do. So the safest way for you, and especially for your students, to move objects around the work plane is use the arrow keys in their keyboard. And this way you can move it around. What if you want to move your object up or down? So put it in the air, for example. Then you have this black triangle over here, which if you drag it up, lifts your object for as much as you want. So if you want to lift it for maybe 36 millimeters, you can write 36 over here, and it is being lifted like this. If you want to put it back in the work plane, you can do the same, drag it back. But if you are lazy like I am, you can just select it and drop it to the work plane. So what do? I drop it. So I click on the D letter on my keyboard and it is being dropped and it stands on the work plane. So let's start by creating a house. And what I want you to do is I want you to drag a box from the basic shapes, add it inside your work plane and give it specific dimensions. For example, let's give it dimensions of 40, width 40, length 30, and the height, let's put it 30. So width 40, length 30, and height 30. So you follow along and you do the same. I'm waiting for you to put an object inside your work plane and give it these dimensions. And you have a minute to do that. Of course, whoever wants help, you can open your microphone and ask me. So 40, 30, and the height is 30. Now, what I want to do is I want to have a house that is that has walls. So I don't want it to be concrete. I want it to be solid. I want it to be empty inside. Before emptying it, I will change a color that I like for my house, and I actually like, in order to change the color, I click on my cube and I go here to the color, and I will make it orange, maybe. You can select your own color. And now I am going to make the walls. So I'm going to show it twice so that you understand what I'm doing. In order to make the walls of the house, I could take 4 boxes, make them very thin, and put them one next to the other. But I want to make it more easy and more quick. What I do is this. Yes, before showing that, I want to show you how you can cut an item. So if you want to cut this box and maybe add a place over here where it is cut, what you could do is you could drag another box, make it 30 or higher, put it here where you want to cut your object. Maybe you want to cut it this way over here. And what you do is you make this object, the one that defines the area that is going to be cut. You click on this and you make it not red, but you click on this hole over here. So this object it becomes whole. And now, if you group these objects together, and how do you group these objects together? Either with your mouse, you left click and select them, and you see here that I have selected 2 shapes, or you click on one shape and then hold shift and click on the other shape. And now it's the same, you have again selected 2 shapes. And what you do now is you group them together. Group is this tool over here. If you group these 2 together, look what happened. I have cut my box in the place where the whole box was. Okay, so in order to cut something, I put a hole on it and I group the two objects together. And now that I will delete this and I go back to my box and I will show you now how you can create walls for your house. So what you do is this, you click on your box. Then you click on this tool over here which says duplicate and repeat. I click and I see that nothing happens. Actually, something has happened. You have two boxes, one on top of the other. You cannot recognize it, but yet they are two boxes. Now I am going to select one of them and change the dimensions, make it slightly smaller than the original one. Not in height, the height will remain the same, just in width and length. So I will make the width of the second instead of 40, maybe 36 and the length 26 instead of 30. And if I look it from the top, and if I want to look closer, I can click on my object and press F, so it focuses on my object. I see that indeed I have two boxes, one smaller and one larger one. What I want to do now is I want to place the smaller box in the middle of the bigger one. And how do I do that? I will use my arrow keys to do that. And I think now that one is in the center of the other, and I am happy for this. And what I'm going to do now, remember the hole before, I will turn the smaller one, and in order to be sure that I have selected the smaller one, I go to the white squares over here and check the dimensions. I see that indeed it is the smaller one that I have selected. I make it a hole. So now you see I have two boxes. One is a hole and one is a compact one. And next thing is I select both of them. I see that I have selected two shapes and group them together. And voila, I have made the walls of my house. I will repeat it again because it might be, you might be stressed with it. So what I did is, let's make sure, no, it's two boxes. I will delete that. What did I do? I selected my box, duplicated it, changed the dimensions of the second box, made them a little bit smaller than the original one. And then it was a time when I had to put the smaller box in the center of the bigger one. I will show you another way to do that because I told you that I'm lazy and I don't like to try moving things around until I reach the center. So what I do is I select these both items and use this tool over here which says align tool. I click on this and after I have selected my two shapes, and actually what I want to do is I want to align these two shapes in the center of the width over here and in the center of the length over here. So I clicked these two circles. And now indeed, if you see it, it is placed in the one in the center of the other. I select the smaller one Now it's a bigger one that I have selected. So I try to select a smaller one. Here is a smaller one. I make it a whole and then group these together and create the walls of my house. So I give you 3 minutes for you to complete this as well. If you encounter any problems, you can share your screen and ask us when we can help you. Just take 2 minutes to create your own house. Okay, I hope you managed to do it. So I will continue now. And what I want to do now is I want to add doors and windows in my house. This is easier part. So depending on which shape I want my door to be, I can drag a box or maybe this round roof. I will drag this because I want to make my door uh, semicircle like this. And since I want it to be perfectly positioned in the center, and this is what I want. You might like it to be wherever. It's your design. You can do whatever you want. But me, I want to position it in the center of the width of my house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both items and click on the align tool, and I click on the center so that this object is placed in the center of the width. And now that it is placed on the center of the width, I will move it with my arrow keys back so that I am sure that it penetrates the walls of my house. It does. So now I can make this round roof a hole. Click on the hole over here. And remember what we do next? We select all items and group them together. And here is the door to my house. In the same manner, I can also create windows for my house. Uh, I will create the windows as well, and then I will give you time to do the same. Okay, so for windows, I will choose now a box. I want square windows. I will change the dimensions, and here I show you that you can change the dimensions this way. But if you click here, the dimensions are not changed evenly. So before it was a cube, now it is not a cube because it does not have the same width and length and height. If I want to change my object evenly, what I can do is I can hold Shift and drag the dimensions. This way, it's all 3 dimensions are changed evenly, if that's what you wish. I will lift my object up and move it with my arrow keys so that it penetrates the wall. Does it? Yes, it does. And because I want a second window in the other side, and I don't want to create another one with the same dimensions, what I can do is I can duplicate this window by clicking duplicate and use the arrow keys to move the second one the other way around here. And now you know what I have to do. I have to make them whole, both of them, and group them together. Nice. So take your time and uh, add the door and windows to your design. Uh, you can use a square door or you can use like a pyramid door. It's up to you. You can do your home as you wish. You have another minute or a couple of minutes to finish it, and then we can go on. Okay, now let's put a roof on our home. I can select which roof I want. It could be a round roof or a normal roof or a pyramid, depends what you like. I will go for a normal roof like this. I will change the dimensions and I don't remember the dimensions, so I can see that my dimensions were 40 by 30. And I can make my roof collide with walls, or I can make it a little slighter bigger so that it comes outside. I will make it a little bit bigger. So instead, you can make it as you wish, as you like. I will make it 45 by 35. Uh, you see here, I cannot change the dimensions very easily. But what I can do is I can click this one to change the dimensions, or I can click F and focus on this, and then go out and select it. So I will click 35 by 45. And I will lift it up. How much? Let's see the height of my house. It is 30. So I will lift it up by clicking on this black triangle by 30. And now I can move it around. I can move it, select it, move it, and place it on top of my house. But since I told you that I'm lazy and I don't want to do a lot of work, I will select these two objects, click on the Align tool, and align both items in the middle of the width and in the middle of the length. And now my roof is placed on top of my house. And the only thing that I have to do now is I have to group these two items together, because if I don't group them and try to move my house, I will move only half of it. So I have to group together. So select them and play and click on group. When I group two items together and one of them is not a whole, as we did until now, what happens is that my object loses their colors, just have one color. If I want to retain the original colors of my design, what I have to do is I click here on the color and enable the multicolor option here on. And then the colors stay as they were at start. And now I can click on my house and put it wherever I like. So I give you 2 minutes to finish your house as well, and whoever wants to show us their house, they are more than welcome to do it. We were happy to see your desires. So you take 2 minutes to finish it. Do you have any questions so far? Does anyone want to show their design? Don't be shy. Okay, you have just created a simple home. Uh, I don't know if you found it difficult or easy, but I can definitely assure you that for your students it will be very easy, because they are accustomed in working in 3D environments, and also most of them design in using Roblox. So they can use the tools very easily, and it can be very engaging for them. Sometimes we, the teachers, we are scared that we are going to teach something, and then students are going to ask us questions that we won't be able to answer. But what I do with my students and works all the time is I tell them, okay, let's do this. I don't know much myself. We will try to learn it together. And if you find something that I don't know, please teach me that so that I become better. And it gives them motivation to work and find out more. So don't be afraid to deliver such courses to their students, because you will find that you can learn more from them, and you will give them motivation. So now I am going to show you how to create a solar panel. Now, because we don't have enough time, I will just going to show you this, but all of this that we have done now, we have made tutorials that can help you, and I will show you later where you can find these tutorials that takes you step by step on designing in Tinkercad, and they show everything that we have done today and more. So if I wanted to have my students create a solar panel, the first thing that I would do is I would make them search in internet for pictures of solar panels so as to get an idea of how they can design it. Then one way to design a solar panel is to get a box and make it big and maybe make it thin because solar panels are thin, so I will make the height of 1 and I will change the color to black because black attracts more light. And if you see the solar panels, they have some squares inside them. So I will take another box. I will make it smaller. And since I want it to retain the same dimensions, I will hold the shift and drag these white squares over here. And this is good for me. I will move it in one side of my panel and I want to change it so that it's not that high and it's difficult to change it this way. So either I will zoom in to see my red box or I will click it and press F in order to focus on it. And now I can see the white squares and I will actually change this dimension to 1.5 because 1 is the height of the black, yes, of the black box and I will make it 1.5. And move it here and change the color to maybe gray. Now, if you see the solar panels, the squares are one next to the other. And now I can show you one trick that you can use in Tinkercad. So we use duplicate to duplicate objects. Now I will click on duplicate again. Duplicate and there is a reason why this button is not called just duplicate, but it is called duplicate and repeat. So I click on it. I have selected my box. I click on this button. I use my arrow keys in order to move the second box next to the first one. And now, without deselecting the second box, I click duplicate again. And look what happens. It creates more boxes which are placed in the same distance one from the other. Now I deselect because I don't want to create another one and go again. Duplicate and move it this way. I deselect because if I don't deselect, if I click duplicate again, it will place one here, over here. I deselect, select it again, duplicate, move it, and then without deselecting, I do the same thing here. And again the same, duplicate, move it here, deselect, select, duplicate, move it here, and then duplicate and repeat. And this way you put these squares all over your solar panel. The next thing that you have to do is you have to group them together. Otherwise, you won't be able to move it around. So I select all my solar panel and I see that I have selected 22 shapes. group them together, and remember, afterwards I go here and enable the multicolor, and now my solar panel is one shade. Now is the time where if you are in secondary education, you can discuss with your students why the solar panels are bent. They're not placed horizontally, but they are bent. And what is the perfect angle to bend the solar panels? If you are in primary education, you don't need to get in that discussion with your students. And I want to bend it now. So if you see here in all my objects, there are three semicircles. So in order to help you rotate your objects in 3 dimensions, I will select this dimension over here and bend it like this. And now I have a solar panel that half of it is above my work plane and half of it is underneath my work plane. And I want to lift it up so that it touches my work plane. I can drag it with this black arrow over here, but since I am lazy, I will click on the drop D button and it will come on my work plane. So what I need now is a base for my solar panel. I will choose maybe a box. I could choose a cylinder as well. Depends. And make it like this and put it so that it touches the solar panel. And if I want to put it exactly in the middle, I can select both items and align them. And here is my solar panel. I group it together. And here it is. It's just an idea of a sustainable object that you could create in your class. Could be something else. And now what I will do is I am going to export these two objects from Tinkercad so as to be able to import them inside virtual reality later. How do I export them from Tinkercad? And you might want to export them in order to 3D print them as well. So what I do is I choose my solar panel. I click here export, and whichever option you choose, you're going to export it, but I would suggest you go with the .obj option because with this option you can retain the colors of it. With the other options, you will import them, the design in virtual reality, but it will be white. So I will go for obj here. And what happens now is that this object is downloaded in the downloads of my computer. And I will download this house as well. Select the house and export, select .obj and download it. And here I stop with the part of Tinkercad. Now we are going to go to the next application, which is Delightex. Do you have any questions so far? Some of you might be overwhelmed with all the what you have heard so far, but don't worry, we are here for you. And what we have done is we have created manuals for teachers on how to use Delightex, Tinkercad, and code blocks for teachers of secondary education. So what do you, if you go to the website of our project, which is VR4Clima, sorry, it's VR4Clima.eu. You can see all the results that I showed you before. Here is the main page, and if you go to the results over here, you can see the VR game that I told you about, the PC version, which you can download to your computer, the VR version, which is for the VR headset, and a guide on how to connect it with your VR headset. Then there is the Europe's climate map that we showed you, and with the infographics and all the details and the explanations. Then you can find uh, the animations, which also can be found in our YouTube channel of VR4Clima. And in this YouTube channel, we are going to upload this webinar as well for your convenience. And what else you can find here is the VR course. If you go to the VR course, there are tutorials for Tinkercad, Introduction to Tinkercad for Teachers, Tinkercad code blocks, building 3D worlds, and the VR course itself, which is like a lesson plans on how to deliver what you see here today inside your class if you are in primary or in secondary education. So the introduction to Tinkercad, for example, is a manual. And we made a manual because before starting this work package, we interviewed teachers and asked them what they would need in order to deliver this course. And most of the teachers told us that they did not want videos. Because that's what we were planning to do, create some videos on how to make things. Most of the teachers preferred tutorials so that they can go on their own step by step on their own pace. So we created these tutorials which are simple and explain everything, and actually whatever we have done today, it is being explained here. And then there are some small projects that you can do, like create a sign or a solar house, which might be a sustainable option for your schoolyard. And this way you learn how to use Tinkercad. These tutorials are in our website in English, but in some days they are going to be uploaded also in Greek and in Serbian. And now I am going to move on and go to the Delightex application. So Delightex, unfortunately, and unlike Tinkercad, is not free. There is a free version, then of course you are proposed to use the free version of it, but it does not have everything on the free version. So most of the features belong to the paid version, which is and the cost depends on how many licenses you want to have. But here as well, you can create classes and enter your students inside classes. But it's not in the free versions. If you don't want to pay things as a school, you can use a free version and have your students design something and then download it so that they don't lose it. So if you go to Delightex, you come at this place and you click on Get Edu, and you come here and you sign up if you have created an account, or you start a free trial. You log in if you have created an account, you sign up if you want to create an account, and start free trial if you don't want to pay. And I will go in, I will log in, and I will show you how to create a virtual environment in Delightex. And this is the most engaging part of the VR course for me. So here is my account, and I will go to the projects. and create a project. And my project could be a 360 image or a merge cube, which is an application of Delightex, but I will go for the 3D environment. And I will select an empty 3D environment. And here you see a camera. So the camera is the spawn point, the point where you enter the virtual reality. The environment, you can choose an environment. And if I click on an environment and then edit, I can choose an environment depending on where my school is. My own school is inside the city, so I will click this environment. If you are placed in a village, you can click this or whichever you want. I will click the city environment, and I would like, when I spawn inside this environment, to see the building of my school in front of me. So I will start adding the buildings of my school so that I then make the space for the schoolyard. In order to add items inside Delightex, you go to the library, and depending which version you have, you can see many things or fewer things. I will go to the library and go to housing and search for buildings. Here are some buildings. My own school looks something like this. So what I do is I drag items inside the virtual reality, and I move them by clicking on them. Maybe my school has a higher building next to it here, so it looks like my school. It's not exactly like my school, but it looks a lot like my school. And now it's time to create the schoolyard. In Greece, schoolyards are closed, so we have some fences on them so that children are not won't go outside. In some northern countries, they don't add fences. So depending on where you are and how your school is, you can add fences or not. So in order to add, I will add. So in order to add a fence, I will click this one, and then so when I add an item inside the Delightex, I see these arrows with which I can change the dimensions of my object. Uh, this is called drag to scale, and it scales my object from the three axes. This one over here, it lifts my object. No, it's not working with this object. This one, it moves my object. I click on the arrows and move it front, back, right, left, up, down. And this button, it rotates my object from in the three axes. I will click now on my object, and I will click, wait, just to make sure that okay. I will click duplicate. So I have a second one here. I will put it next to the first one. And then duplicate again. And then duplicate again. And this way I have made a part of my fence, and I can group these items together by holding Shift and selecting the four items, and then right click and group them. And now I can go and place my fence over here. And I will duplicate my fence and rotate it and add it here. And this way you can surround your playground, school playground with a fence. I'm not going to make all of it now, just put some fence over here. And then I don't do it with details because I need some time. And once you have added the fence in your playground, once your students have added the fence in their playground, it's time to add to make it as they wish, as they would like it to be. So students would like green places inside their schoolyards, at least in Greece, they like them. So you can add greenery. And in order to make your life easier, you can change the dimensions of these objects here. If you see, if I select it, I see some blue spots over here. If I drag them, I can make it bigger without having to add a lot of items inside it. And I will add some trees. This is where your students get creative and they can add some flowers and more green things, depending. And then students might want to promote sustainable commuting. Sustainable means of travel. So they might create a park for bicycles. So I will go to the transport and take some bicycles and have them parked one next to the other by the school door, for example. And then when you have greenery, the greenery attracts animals. So if you go to animals, you can add maybe this one. Or you can have some birds, a parrot. And if I add a parrot, I don't want it standing in the earth. I want it to fly, so I will move it. I will go to translation mode and drag it, lift it up in the sky, and maybe some butterflies. And when I have these objects put in my project, I don't them to be, I want them to move. So in order to make my objects move, and I zoom in by scrolling in my with my mouse, I can right click on my object and click on animation over here. And I want to animate it so that it flies, the bird. Or I have here the butterfly. I will animate it so that it flies as well. And I have another butterfly over here, animate it to fly. And maybe I add this black bird over here and animate it to eat. And then I can add other thing. I can add students. What is a playground without students? So I will add some students over here. And I want to make them look at each other. it's a little bit difficult to get close to them, so I will take this one and rotate him so that he looks the others. I rotate them and I can also animate them. I will animate this guy to clap. I will animate him to cheer. I will animate this guy to agree, let's say. And this way you can you can populate your school playground. You can add some places for children to play. Some black spots where they can play, for example, squash or whatever. They can play basketball. You can add some of them, and of course there might be other things that you would like to add, but you cannot find them inside the Delightex features. And if you have the free version, there are many things that you won't be able to find inside Delightex, but you can create them inside the Tinkercad and then add them in Delightex. And of course, you can create your whole playground inside Tinkercad and then just add it to Delightex without creating anything inside this environment. Just adding what you have created in Tinkercad, because Delightex gives you the chance to get inside virtual reality and experience what you have created. So now I will show you how you can import the things that you have created in Tinkercad inside this playground. And what you have to do is you go to the upload button over here. I click upload, and what do I want to upload? I want to upload 3D models. I click here, click upload, and remember when I downloaded my objects, it went to my downloads in my computer. So this is the name of the project that I have in Tinkercad, and that's what it took over here. But I will double click on this zip file and it will be uploaded here. And I will click upload again to upload this as well. One is the house and the other one is the solar panel. And once they are uploaded in my project, I can drag them and put them inside my playground. So you see, this is the house that I created before, and this is the solar panel. In the same way, I repeat, you can create your whole school yard inside Tinkercad and just insert it here. And once you have finished your creation, there comes the exciting part where you can enter inside virtual reality and experience it. How to do that? You click on play over here, and now you are teleported inside your playground. School playground. You can use the arrow keys and the mouse to go around and see what happens. Here you can see the bicycles we added, the greenery. This is the bird, the parrot we added, the butterflies. I go around, see the group of students doing the animations that I had them do. And here must be a bird that the black bird is eating. So I gave it an animation of eating, so I should put it on the ground, not in the air. And here are my designs from Tinkercad. And the other exciting part of it is that if you have a VR headset in your school, it is very easy to experience the school playground inside the VR headset. The only thing that you have to do is download the Delightex application inside the VR headset, then go to your project, click share, and share unlisted, and then share unlisted. And now you get your project shared. So once you click here on share, you get these options. If you create your school playground like this, it does not have to be perfect. You can participate in our contest, European contest. So what you have to do is you have to send us the link to your project, this link over here. If you are at school and you want to experience your students to experience their design inside virtual reality, you just click on this code on the VR headset, and then they are teleported inside the school playground that they created earlier. And it is really very engaging. So if you play, this is the playground created. And you can move around. You can even jump. If you click the space button, you can jump around. And that was the way to import things in virtual reality that you have created earlier. Any questions for Delightex? So I have one question. My question is, how many of you believe that you could deliver this course inside your class? You can raise your hand. Yota. Yota, I know you are an ICT teacher, so it will be easier for you. But believe me, even if you are not ICT teacher, you still can do it because your students work very easily with 3D and VR. So it will be very engaging for your students. Do you have any questions for all this presentation? So again, I will tell you that whatever you need, you can contact us through our website at the VR4Clima at gmail.com, and you can visit our website, and of course we will be very happy to see some of you participating in our competition. So I see a hand raised. Is there any question? I cannot. Yes, okay.
Will we get certificate after this webinar?
Yes, you're going to be sent a certificate, and also you will be sent a form in order to evaluate this webinar, and we'll be very happy to see your insights. But it will happen next week.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, since you don't have any other questions, I want to thank you again for being here today and spending these 2 hours with us. I hope that they were enlightening and they helped you enrich your classes with some technology. Thank you so much for your participation.
Bye.
Bye.